Blakey and Tucks, they're talking Cardiff City and some other stuff. Blakey and Tucks, Doel asked the questions on Blakey's Bootroom. Will always be blue.
Bootroom here on Wales Online. It's fixtures day. The fixtures are out and no more Premier League, but proper football back in the Championship.
Proper football.
When's Chelsea? Where is it? Sorry?
I can tell you where Rotherham is.
Look, I've never been there. I'm looking forward to that one. Sort of.
How are we, chaps? Good summer
Great.
so far?
Brilliant. World Cup. Superb. Can't believe we're not there, us three.
Oh, well, yeah.
We should be here sweating now, doing the boot room.
Should be on the beach with Adrian Childs and all, all those on the Copacabana.
Yeah, yeah.
Me and my Speedos, Gov.
ITV really pushing out the boat on their studio expenses. So
It looked a bit like this, didn't
it did look a bit like it. Actually, this looked a bit better than that. At least we got a studio.
They're not copying the boot room.
No, well, if it starts raining, they're in massive trouble. That's all I can say. But no, good, mate. Really good. Good summer.
It's been great.
Yeah, nice little break from the rigmaroles of Cardiff. Like I said, the Tucks, it started. Well, it didn't start to. It got me down in the end last season.
You were depressed.
I was
Every
really
time
depressed.
I
I
called
was fed
him,
up with the whole shebang. So, but
fresh start.
Hopefully, yeah, fresh start, a new beginning. The fixtures are out today, which is always kind of the start of the new season, isn't it? When you can start looking ahead. What do we make of it? I think initial impressions, obviously Blackburn away, first game live on Sky as well on the Friday night.
Yeah.
First game of the new season.
Yeah.
It's a tough old start though, isn't it? Blackburn in the Huddersfield.
I mean, you just look down it. It is just a tough year, isn't it? You just look at that fixture list. You think, yeah, it's going
to be a grind.
It's no easier than the Premier League. It's just hard in a different way. You know what I mean? It is a grind, yeah. I think the Friday night to start and then the Tuesday nights and stuff like that. It's you know, and I hate to say it, but you know, I feel it's going to be another long season because it looks like we're going to go into the new season largely with the problems that we had last season. So that's the, you know, I always say you got a new manager and all that, try and dispel all the problems, take away all excuses for players and management staff, start afresh, go into the new season clean, fresh, but you've still got all last year's problems, and you know
they look set to rumble on.
Things it looks that's exactly my point. It looks like it's not going to be ending anytime soon.
Been a few changes behind the scenes, players coming in, a couple going out. We'll come on to all that a bit later. I mean, Steve, you've been looking at the fixtures. We can stick with them for a minute. We just actually posted a piece online, which was I suppose rather negative, really. But you think Solskjaer, I mean, has to get off to a good start. And looking at those fixtures, you think come sort of October time.
If you were being a cynic, you'd look down there and think, I wonder which one he'll get fired before. You know what I mean? How long will he make it? I mean, I don't want to be negative, but as you say, Solskjaer, it's massive for him, obviously. They have to get off to a flying start. They're favourites. There's nowhere to hide. Them and Fulham may be vying, but they're expected, Cardiff are expected to set the pace in this table. You look at those opening, you look through to the end of September there, the first 10 games. You know, Norwich, Borough, Wolves up a point. Cardiff aren't just going to be able to go through that and do respectable. They are going to have to, you know, win a lot.
They're going to have to win the league differently to how they won it last time.
Bit of style, bit of pizzazz.
They will most definitely. And last time, I think the fans would have accepted anyway, as long as it was successful. You know what I mean? I think this time, I think most people have the opinion you want to see a bit of flair. You want to see it winning. You want to win it. You don't want to crawl over the line. You don't want to, you know, win it because other people are losing. You want to go out outrightly and win it properly. I mean, we won it properly last time, but in what I would say, not a greatest of leagues. and we didn't win it in the greatest of style, but we won it. We got the job.
Well, hang on. Are we going to choose how we win it now? That's
what I'm saying
I'm not sure how we got. We might win it like that. We'll win it.
No,
this way.
what I'm saying is there's a way to win, innit? You can.
Well, Solskjaer's talked about Leicester, hasn't he?
You can go away. You can win a game 3-0 by winning 3 corners and scoring 3 set pieces and defending your box for 90 minutes. Or you can win a game 3-0 with a style of football which I've paid my hard-earned money to come and watch and be entertained. So let's not forget we're in the entertainment business, fellas. I've paid my hard-earned money and I want to be entertained by the team I love. And, I like to see it. All I'm saying is I'd rather see that style of football entertaining rather than...
Well, sure, yeah, wouldn't we all? But I mean, the ultimate thing is Cardiff have got to get back up. And you're right, Blake, you glance down that list and you look, where's the easy bit? Do you know what I mean? Where's the little easy run, And, okay, you might look at sort of like, I don't know, there's that Bournemouth in there, Brentford.
December looks a lot easier than January. That's a crucial month.
I'm gonna nick from Blakey again, as I always do. December and then January, pivotal. Yeah. Pivotal, governor. They'll expect to pick up points in December, you say Bournemouth and all the rest of it, and then you look at January. There's only 4 fixtures, but look what they are: Fulham, Norwich, Borough, and Derby. Yeah. Teams you would expect by that point all to be nestled around at the top end, waiting to think. And by the end of that, I think things will have a much clearer picture, and hopefully Cardiff will be
flying
amongst
high.
Those.
The bluebird will be flying high.
Indeed.
Yes.
Let's have a couple of comments there. And Alex just agreeing. Really, the pressure is on Solskjaer. It will be absolutely huge. Tan has already stated his season aims, and I've no doubt that if we struggle, he will be gone. Carl saying on the other end of the stick, if we were to win the league at a cancer, then Solskjaer would probably be gone to another club in a slightly different way, if you know what I mean.
That happens, doesn't it, in football?
Yeah, another way. Blackburn, Wigan, Wolves, Fulham, and Norwich in the first few. We could be bottom by the middle of September. Well, we never know, I suppose.
It's down to confidence as well. You win the first game, you've got to get off to a good start. You know what I mean? That's the biggest thing in the championship. You win that first game, and all of a sudden, bit of belief. You win your second game, more confidence. Win your third game, right? Everyone starts to buy into all the work you've done pre-season. It's no longer a fluke. It's not a one-off. It's not all of a sudden you've won 3 or 4 games. You tend to just go on from there. It takes a real crash for you to, after 5 or 6 games, if you've done really well and you're at the top of the league, it takes a real crash for you to end up nowhere near, come October, November then. I mean, you should be in and around it.
Absolutely. I mean, another one even Cardiff Emball saying let's not start saying that December is a crucial month and things like that.
It's too late, I'm afraid.
We did that last season, and look what happened there. We did seem to do that every week last season. We go, this is the crucial month. These are the crucial weeks coming up. You can never look too far ahead.
I mean, the problem is, as Blakey said, I don't see much of it being much easier than the Premier in many ways. Particularly when you factor out your Chelseas and all that, and then look at the bulk of the Premier League table. Well, there's not a lot of people who wouldn't be out of place.
What you lose technically in the Championship from the Premiership, you lose. What you have to understand in the Premiership football, you're playing against internationals every week. Yeah. So it's like an international game, you know what I mean? Whereas Championship, you're playing against people who are aspiring really to be internationals. You do get quite a few internationals in the Championship, but more aspiring to become fully fledged internationals. So technically they're not as gifted then, and the finishing isn't as high quality. The defending isn't as high quality. Yeah, but it's still a high quality league, but what it makes up for, what it loses against the Premiership in quality, it makes up for in hard work, endeavour, and the amount of games you have to play. You know what I mean? And you're playing them so close together. So it's a different animal to the Premiership, but for me, it's equally as hard. You know, I played in both, and they're equally. It wasn't like the first time when I left Cardiff and went to Sheffield, I got sucked in with the rest of the Sheffield United boys thinking, yeah, we go down, it's going to be easy because, you know, really and truly, we should never have gone down from Premier League. I thought to myself, well, it'll be a strolling Championship. Whoa, what a shock to the system that was. I'd never played in the Championship at that point. It's only been 3rd Division and we got promoted to 2nd, so I'd never played in League One. So after that initial shock, the following season we started better and then I got sold. But after that, if I went to a club and we got relegated, which happened to me a few times, getting back up was a mental thing, you know, and I was good at that. Hence why I got 4 promotions.
You do worry on that. You do worry a little bit, particularly for a lot of people stay. You know, I mean, we're talking about the players who are probably going to go, but the core could be the Premier League survivors. You do worry a little bit that there might be a bit of, well, you know, we're a Premier League side, here we go, you know, Blackburn away, we'll walk this, and as Blakey says, I think that would be a big error.
Another point where I'll expose to the fans is, you know, as a player, yeah, we all pay our money, we all go and watch and everything, but as a player, do you know, if you're not buying into what the manager's doing, you've only got like 70% of the squad who are believing in what you're doing, straight away, you're not going to get promoted, I'll tell you now. Unless you've got, and I mean everybody on song and everybody believing in, right, what Ollie's doing, his tactics are spot on, this and that. Unless you've got everybody believing in him, you've already got a problem. I don't know, obviously, because I'm not involved, but that would be my biggest thing. I hope Ollie has got, you know, the tactical awareness, the training programs and everything to go through the pre-season so that his players are like, you know, they're fired, they're ready to run through brick walls for him.
But I mean, got to be honest though, you know, I don't want to be cynical, but
you are cynical.
But I am cynical, but the signs of that is going to happen, there's no evidence for that from the end of the Premier League campaign. What did we get? We got a half-hearted effort from a percentage of the players. When it comes to Solskjaer himself, we got, you know, question marks. Did he know his best team? Did he know his best formation? You know, each week, shocks and surprises on the team sheet that didn't work in the end. You saw a batch of signings in January that on the whole didn't work. So, you know, I'm not saying, I don't want to be cynical. I'm hoping, as Blakey says, this summer, you know, the pre-season works, he brings in more of his own players and everything starts to gel. Yeah. But all I will say is, on the evidence that we've had so far, you wouldn't bet your money that that's likely. I don't think.
That's why I say the importance of everyone going in the same direction, because now pre-season becomes like so critical. It is every season anyway, but as I said last season, you had 2 different philosophies in one set of players. Yeah, some were still believing in what Marky was doing and never really come across to the Solskjaer idea. And those who were bought by Solskjaer were obviously buying into what he's trying to do. So you had 2 different philosophies. Now, you've got one philosophy. You know, it's, you know, the club should have the philosophy, if you like, but okay, we've got the manager who's got his own philosophy, which he's trying to implement. So the club has had to change from a defensive way of thinking all the way around now to an offensive way of playing and thinking.
But was there? They wasn't. It wasn't. They weren't. They wasn't that free flowing.
No. Because it didn't happen because I think we were caught between 2 places. You've not got everyone going in the same direction. That's exactly my point. Right, some of the players would have been saying, you know, apart from the Newcastle result, we've been all over the place. He don't know what he's doing, and you know, I don't care what anyone says. Those are the things players will say behind closed doors. They won't say it publicly, but behind closed doors, they will say, you know, especially the experienced ones. They look at him and think, no, he doesn't know what he's doing. So this pre-season is so vital, so critical for us. And I just feel like my worry is like I said, there's already problems ahead. Before we even kick a ball, there's already problems in the background, which are not going away and they're not minor problems. So
what you mean off the pitch? Sorry.
If the chairman, who's now the chief executive, if any of them got any nous on football, and they want their manager to have the best opportunity to bounce straight back, deal with those problems. Because if he has a bad run, like already Mr. Cynic has said, if he has a bad run after 10 games, mate, all those problems are just going to come straight back to the forefront, on top of the bad games.
Well, that's me thoroughly depressed.
Well, let's try and be a bit more positive. I mean, lots of new faces at Cardiff City Stadium already this summer, more so than pretty much any club you can think of.
Well, early business,
Cardiff went early
business.
A load of strikers, basically.
I think that tells you, though, that Ollie knows he has to get his own team, his own players, to get his own philosophy in. You know, if you got him into the majority of the players, it rubs off on the other players. So straight away then, you know, we all love the manager and we're all going in the same direction as him.
Yeah. What about the sign? I mean, let's deal with them sort of one by one. Some you'll probably know more about than others. Obviously there's Javi Guerra, that was all confirmed. We thought it may sort of stumble after they got relegated, but good to see him on board. It's certainly been a hit in the Spanish league. I mean, what is he? He's 32 now, isn't he? Yeah.
32, done well in La Liga. You've got to say, looks like a guy who knows where the net is. You know, and as you say, there was talk, now that they're relegated, will he go elsewhere? Well, the deal, whether the contract was so watertight, he didn't have a choice, or he's still up for the challenge, he's there. He's exciting, isn't he? I mean, he's an exciting thought to have a guy like that, must be vastly experienced, you know, and whether what he's going to make of the championship.
Well, you'd hope he's your... He's the one who's going to give you that something different, you know, that match winner, that someone who can turn a 0-0 into a 1-0 with a piece of magic. You hope he's, you know, because I'll admit I've not seen him play, so I've seen his goal scoring record, which is decent. So I'm hoping he's going to be one of these that you can get the ball to and he can do a little something different, you know, on a you know.
Well, you're hoping
away at Charlton.
Yeah, you're hoping one chance, bang, net. You know, he's one of those kind of guys, which is everybody's hoping. All their strikers going to be like. But you know, I mean, let's put it this way: he's got pedigree. He's promising.
Even if for me, he wasn't a out and out goal scorer. What I'm saying is, I hope he's that number 10 kind of player, if you like. Yeah, you remember a few years ago when it was Jorge, what was his name? Played for Bolton.
Yeah,
Jorge. Yeah, he's that type of. You know, just that quality, something a bit different. I'm hoping he's that, you know, someone who other players, like, I know it's different, but it's the same in, like Cantona was for United. Talented players all around you, but you just need that cog where everyone looks and goes, yeah, you know, he's the man sort of thing. He is a player. I'm hoping he's going to be one of them because we missed that, I think. I think we've missed that. And I put that down to the last regime not having the excitement about it. It was more of a work ethic team under Malky. It wasn't like, you know, if there was someone who had a bit of flair, or we were carrying him and we can't do with that. And really and truly you can, because they give you, well, they should give you that extra bit of pizzazz when you need it. So, you know, you don't focus only on what they can't do.
Indeed. The other two strikers then, Adam Lafondra, seems like a good, solid signing, doesn't it?
Well, he's had a weird one here. It's because at Reading, his record is great, and then you look at it, and he was relied to come off the bench a lot, wasn't he? He's an impact kind of guy. Yeah. I'm sure he doesn't want to be that, but that's how he seems to be. You look at his kind of stats, and he's got like, you know, like 18 starts, and in brackets like 24 off the bench appearances and decent goals. Well, you know, great if you got someone who can, you know, as you say, away at Blackburn or whatever, and it's 0-0, and then you've got 76 minutes. You bring on a guy like that. Perfect.
I think you can get a stigma attached to you as a player as well. I don't think he's a 25-minute player. He's young enough. I think he's a 90-minute player. I just think maybe what's happened is he's come off the bench maybe in 6 or 7 games, made an impact, scored a goal, and then like you become labelled, if you like. Yeah. So, you know, I've always fancied him. You know, I thought he would have been a good signing for us in the Premiership, to be honest with you, as that impact player. But in the Championship, I think, you know, He's a 90-minute. He's got to be a 90-minute player. He's too young to be an impact player. And I'm hoping, you know, he forge a good partnership with someone and get 20 goals. Because if he does, if you've got, a 40, 50 goal strike partnership, you're in the top 6, probably in the top 3.
And Freddie McKayda then, obviously Solskjaer knows him from Manchester United. There was a lot of noise about him when he first came on the scene, wasn't there, at United, and then one of those players who faded afterwards.
Is that
a risky one?
He's got a weird story in that, you know, obviously everyone met like 5 years ago now when he came on, when Sir Alex blooded him and he's got that brilliant goal, and then it was a bit law of diminishing returns. I mean, he had like about 3 or 4 loan periods there. I think in Germany he went and various places, and he didn't score a goal on any of them. He had various appearances, didn't get a goal, and that didn't work. And then, of course, at the back end of last season, he had a brilliant at Birmingham. He had a brilliant loan spell at Birmingham. Effectively, he kept them up his goals. I can't remember the stats, but he scored. I mean, I'm not an expert, but I just looking on paper, you thought some of those must have been absolutely vital.
Like 8 or 9.
Yeah, it was like 8. Yeah, that's right. It was like 8 out of 14 appearances. So, you know, is he still? You've got all that history, and he's like 22 now or something. Yeah. You know what I mean? It sounds like he should be like 38 with all that. He's 22. Wow, he is another one. He could prove a massive hit. He's got a lot to prove. If he can hit the ground running and say, look at this now. Remember this name.
I would say
he could be big.
I would say out of all of them, he would be my one who I would think, looking at your past history, look at your quality, and look at your age, you probably had too much too soon. You went through that period where your confidence was shot. You've come out, you've scored goals at Birmingham, you feel back to not your best, but near your best, and then you've got to move to a big club who are expected to challenge for the championship. I expect him to be our 20 goal this season. I really do, because I think he's grown up. Because people tend to forget sometimes that if you're 18, 19, 20, you know, you still need time to grow up, you know, mature as a person, as a man. And I think he's there. I think that's probably what happened to him. His confidence was shot, went abroad, didn't help. Probably the worst thing to do was going abroad, but didn't help, come back, another year older, had a spell at Birmingham, done really well, confidence back. You know, 22, going on 23, he's becoming a man. Do you know what I mean? He is a man now.
Good pre-season.
Good pre-season behind him. I'm really. What I'd love to see is him and Lafondra. Yeah, and I'd love to see.
I was going to ask you that, Blakey, actually, because you think of all the options. I was wondering what you say.
I would, because I think Lafondra
and McKayda
can play around in front of McKayda. But the other lad, the Spanish lad, I'm thinking, well, like if he is talented, highly technically talented, then maybe he can play that number 10 role. But by looking at them, we're not going to have two players. What I like is there's options there and how you can play those 2 strikers. You can play them flat. You can play them, you know, a 9 and a 10. You could play, you know, McKayda wide on a 3, Lafondra wide on a 3. You've got options with them. You've got a lot of options.
Alex just pointing out 10 goals in 18 matches for McKayda at Birmingham.
Yeah,
and Lafondra was 10 in 15 last season. Says Jacob. So that all,
if they live up to that,
do we assume then the likes of Fraser, Campbell, Kenwyne Jones? Do we expect them to go, or still?
Kenwyne's got a lot to prove. You know what I mean? I don't care.
You're looking at him as sort of fourth, fifth choice striker, aren't you?
Well, he's only got himself to blame. You know, had he come last season, no one's expecting him to score 20 goals from January to the end of the season. But if he come and put himself about and became like, you know, a focal point for people to play off then and ended up with, say, 6 or 7 goals, you'd be saying like, you know, him and Lafondra or him and another. But, you know, he's tumbled down to the bottom of the ladder again, and he's only been at the club for like 3 or 4 months. He's found himself the same position he was in Stoke, same position he got himself into in Sunderland. So at some point you've got to say, well, you've got to hold your own hands up. You're responsible for the position you find yourself in. So I'd expect them to get rid of him as quickly as possible, to be honest with you. I don't see no point in trying to keep him.
Where's he going to go? What's he going to do?
Well, someone will come knocking.
Not for you to worry about, I suppose.
No, I'm not worried, but I'm just wondering,
exactly.
you know.
Fraser, I think, you know.
Fraser, I'm sure will
Fraser,
go.
if Fraser doesn't go, then again, competition places. You know,
expect him to go.
I think he'll go.
I'd love him to stay.
Fraser would go with that.
I'd love him to stay.
Well, yeah.
I'd love him to stay because I think, you know, Makeda, Lafondra, himself, and Guerra. I think, mate, you need 4 strikers. I think you run the league with them 4, as long as they hit, you know, the other 2 are hitting. I think you do. I think you run it. And someone like Fraser, he's going to feel more confident after having what I call a half-decent year in the Premier League. You didn't rip up any trees, but we weren't a team that was going to rip up trees. You know, work rate and goals, he done okay. You know, I think he done okay. And I think in the Championship, going back now after how he played when we got promoted, well, I think he's a 20-goal a season man.
He did great when he arrived, didn't he? That the season they went up. I think he'll go. I mean, all this talk of a 800 grand release clause in his contract, which is nonsense, weird to me, but all that and Leicester sniffing around. I know that Leicester expect to sign him.
Okay.
I know that.
Yeah.
So I agree with Blakey. It'd be fantastic to have him in amongst the stable of strikers, but I just expect him to go. I'm afraid. And of course, while we're talking about strikers, Joe Mason back there, and Nicky Maynard. And I forgot. Exactly.
There's some players who proved in the Championship in the past.
Listen, there's a case.
Honestly.
There's a case for saying keep Campbell, keep Maynard, keep Joe Mason, and bring in one other. Yeah.
Ross McCormack, 9 million. You'd be paying 9 million for Ross McCormack?
I wouldn't bring in
asking about Ross McCormack, lots of rumours and things, but we're
I'm told no. I know there was a report saying Cardiff had put a bid in. I'm told that's not thing, and I was told by somebody very high up within the club that's it for strikers. I don't know what that means. Like if Maynard goes and Campbell, if they, you know, a load of them go. But at this point in time, that the focus isn't on strikers, and certainly is not on spending 9 million on Ross McCormack. That's for certain.
Indeed. Okay, the final couple of signings. I mean, Dickachoy. What do we make of that midfielder?
He's another one of those guys, and I always say this, I must have seen him play about 10 times down the years. You know, I must have sat and watched him. I've never sort of got up and gone, wow, that Dickachoy. You know, I've never left going, that guy ran the show. That's the only thing that concerns me. He's always been like, well, all right, there he is.
Palace certainly wanted to keep him, didn't they?
Well, I don't know how hard they fought to keep him. I mean, you don't know. I mean, because Tony Pulis was saying, giving some sort of backhanded compliments. Did you see those comments? Oh, Cardiff offered him too good to refuse. Oh, which sounded nice, but was actually saying, they're throwing their money.
Out you go. We tried to
throw your money down that pit there.
We tried to keep you really, but hey.
Is he?
He's seen as is he a Medell guy?
Is he the ready-made Medell?
Apparently so. He's defensive-minded midfielder.
50 odd caps for South Africa.
No, he's experienced, and sometimes
he's a good player.
About his temperament. I don't know his work rate.
He's a good player, you know. But if he's going to be a defensive midfielder, then with all those strikers ahead of him, he's going to have his work cut out defending.
It's an important figure.
I just hope we already ain't going with the old this is how we're going to play and that's it. I hope we ain't right. This is how we're going to. I hope we've got. Because what I would say, one of the mistakes Ollie made last year was, I mean, I sat in one game and we played 3 different systems, and I swear after the second change, I could see the players were just like, we don't know what we're doing. So I hope that the players, I hope he's not just saying, right, we're going to play this and have one defensive midfield all the time. I think we need to be adaptable, and I hope we're going to be working on, at least 3 systems of play and how we can play, how we're going to play. And I don't mean 3 as in a back 4, back 5, back 3. I mean a solid back 4, and then whether or not you have 1 sitting in front or 2 with one ahead, or you know, a 4-4-2. I just hope we're working on systems like that, and we've got them down to a T. And when the call comes, we can change.
We can only hope, only because
I hope he makes them solid.
Was Solskjaer came in, and there was just no time, was it? There was no time to.
But this is what we said, if you remember, John. You know, it was, I think, 17 games to go. Yeah, and I said it'll get worse before it gets better. The problem was we went to The problem was
it going to get better?
The problem was they went to Newcastle and won in the cup, and that everyone then thought, oh yeah, we could. And I think that even fooled Ollie into thinking, oh, I can just do this and I can just do that, and I'll change a bit here. But that's not working. I'll change it there. And before you know it, you're like a dog chasing his tail. Yeah, you should have done what they should have done was what Poyet done. Stick to what you're doing. Stick to your philosophy. Yeah, and regardless if the results get bad, because I remember them when they lost to, I think it was Manchester City, when they should have won, they looked on the floor, Sunderland. It looked like there's no way. Within 2 weeks, they'd had 2 wins, and they were up and running again. Because, you know, sometimes you've got to go through that period of, you know, you're not going to, I think what we try to do is try and get a result out of every game. Yeah, you do. But if you don't, what you don't do is panic and change, and that's what we fell into.
We're going back to the start of games. He's got to get off to a good start. I don't think he's gotten the luxury of, oh, we're on a bit of a bad run, we'll come out of this. I think the pressure is going to be so intense,
and it's going to be the same for every other team.
And the pressure, though, I mean, if they go early on and they you know, and they're down the bottom after 8 games, they're down in 15th. The pressure
from Tucks is going to be unbelievable.
It's not going to be just me. I'm talking more about supporters, everyone surrounding the club. Okay, us sitting here, we've just lost. Okay, we've just lost at Blackpool and we're 17th. What are we going to be sitting here in the boot room saying? Oh well, give him. You know, we give him till. You're not going to give him till Christmas. A lot of the pressure, the cracks are going to start coming very soon. Yeah. So a bit like when he arrived and had to hit the ground running in the Premier League, he's going to have to hit the ground running in the Championship.
I mean, he
better sort things out over the summer.
That's just the nature of football these days. There is no. You know, I know managers and coaches, they sit in front of the chairman and whatever and give their 3 or 5 year plan. I don't see the point these days. Do you know what I mean? I really don't.
Solskjaer's given his 5-week plan.
You may as well just sit down and say, right, these are my intentions, and then it's over what period of time? Well, depends how long I'm here. Because I could be gone after 15 games. You know, it's become that ridiculous. So, you know, it's vital that you not just hit the ground running, but throughout the season, basically. I think you can afford to lose in the Championship probably 8 or 9 games.
The only thing that Solskjaer's got on his side, I think, is Vincent Tan and the board, or inverted commas, whoever they may be, are behind him because they don't want to admit, they wouldn't want to admit they made a mistake in appointing him in the first place. So that's what makes me think he'll be. That's what will make me think he will be given a bit of time, even if the clamour all around is we're 16th. What's going on? I think, you know, for Vincent Tan to go, you're out. Is in fact he's saying
I was wrong.
I was wrong in January, and as we know, Vincent Tan's not the kind of guy who says,
I was wrong.
Sorry guys, I was wrong very often. So that factor, I think, will give Solskjaer a little bit more time than he might get elsewhere.
X factor.
Okay, a couple of Jacob saying we have to be top 2 come October. Lots of people very positive about the signings. People saying all of the ones we mentioned so far, great signings.
Yeah, I think
really
so.
Well, great captures, great deals as well. A couple of players there on frees, that sort of thing.
I think Lafondra's under 2 million as well, which is a very good. I think didn't Reading have to pay the tax man or something? All Cardiff fans will remember. But Bergstaller.
We come to our final. The final.
I thought you'd forgotten the rapid.
No. People asking, come on, Tux, tell us all about Guido Bergstaller.
Well,
tell me something about
I'm not quite sure how to say his name, but I think I'm getting to grips with it. Looks great on YouTube.
Okay, it's another YouTube player.
That famous. I remember sitting watching Andreas Cornelius on YouTube saying that guy's got it.
I remember speaking to you after it. And
Blakey, have a look at this Danish guy we've just spent 20 million on.
I'm looking at this Danish guy who's making pastries.
You put the headed highlights of my day on YouTube and I look reasonably good. Do you know what I mean? Just a little bit so I'm going, oh, look at this. But
what are we talking, 25-year-old midfielder,
Austrian international,
Vienna, I think, isn't he? Yeah, Austria played 7 times for Austria.
Likes to can play out wide, forward thinking.
Well, they're international. He's an international. It's not like playing for San Marino. No disrespect or anything like that. You know, they're not part timers. So to make an international, he's got to be of decent quality.
He's an unknown.
Fit into the midfield is going to be such an interesting thing next season.
What is he? Is he a right winger?
He's like a right winger, yeah.
There's going to have to be a number of players leaving.
Nuninho?
I mean,
the squad is ridiculous.
Don Cowie we expect to leave, don't we? I mean, Tommy Smith has left for
Tommy Smith's gone.
Where does Gunnarsson fit in? Where does Whittingham fit into it all there? We've got Noon. Obviously, they've lost Bellamy, I suppose.
There's going to be a domino effect at some point. We're just waiting for the World Cup to be
on. You know, the people like Kadeem Harris, young players like that, and things like that who've been signed. You know, you gotta. I think they've got a squad of about. I think they've got about a squad of 40 odd players, 42 maybe.
The problem is with Solskjaer, everyone will get a game. Do you know? There's 48 players in the squad. We'll play them all.
Let's got 20 on the bench.
Yeah, it's going to be fascinating to see how he lines up and who the personnel are going to be. I'm expecting a big season. Well, this is not going to surprise me. Matt Starley. I think Solskjaer loves him. A lot of people love him, apart from him. He's the only guy in Cardiff who doesn't rate him. And I think.
Oh, no, actually.
No, there's a few, are there?
If you go amongst the professionals.
I think he's going to be given. If I was sitting in Blackburn on August 9th, and I had to write the team sheet now, my first name I put in would be Matt Starley. No, not my choice. I mean, if I had to read Solskjaer's mind, do you know what I mean?
Okay.
That he would put on the team sheet.
Okay.
I think he'll be started and told.
Where?
Do it.
Max Starley.
Central midfield.
Centre midfield?
Yeah, along with a defensive-minded, along with Dickachoy, or whatever his name is.
Dickachoy.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oh, you're not going to get me into formations, are you?
No.
You know what? I always end up picking like 12
Central
players.
midfield of a 3? Or central midfield of a 2?
Gunnarsson, Whittingham, Jordan.
Come on, this is what we're here for. The fans want to know. The fans, want opinions. They want to know.
Jordan Much has to play, doesn't he?
There you go. That's what.
I forgot about Jordan. He's definitely got to play.
I was going to say central midfield.
Get back to me next week. I'll have gone down to 11. I'll come down to 11. Well, you do it, Blakey. You're good at what you reckon?
If he's in it, listen. If Cardiff play a 4 at the back with then say a 3 and a 3,
right?
He's either going to play as one of the wide men, or he might play across as one of the 3. For me, physically in the Championship, I'm not going to be able to handle that central midfield position.
If it's Darley,
yeah. If he can play as a 10. That's a possibility, but then you've got those 4 or 5 other strikers who've all come in, so that's one of their places gone. You know what I mean? So you're going to have a problem there. For me, you know, if you said to me, you know, I've had a few fans say, "Oh, he's this and that." For me, I'm just not as convinced as that. And there's other people, professionals who. In the same boat as myself.
Name them.
Name your professional conspirators, your co-conspirators.
Not as convinced, because this is my point. Had you been that explosive player that some think he is, I don't think you would have left United, because you got young Yanua who's there, who is the man, who's the young man coming through. You know, I think, don't get me wrong, I don't think he's a bad player by any stretch of the imagination. I think he's a very good player, very talented, keeps the ball well. But like I said to one of our colleagues, Mr. Amban Donato, who, tell me then of the games that he did play, when you felt to yourself, wow, that was an explosion, that was a great run, great dribble, or he's got away from that man in 5 yards and he's, you know, ended up with a great shot. He scored 1 goal and assisted maybe 1, maybe 2 in half a season. People are saying to me, oh, but he keeps the ball. Well, that's your job. You can't get bigged up for doing what, you know, what you're supposed to do, give the ball away every time. No, you're supposed to keep the ball. You know, that's just part and parcel of the game. You can't be, you know, given trophies for keeping the ball. It's when you've got it, what else are you going to do with it?
I think he could. I mean, I'm not as sold on him as a lot of people. I think he's a good player. I think in the Championship,
it's harder, mate. That's my point.
I think
that's where. He could. Listen, as long as he can handle the physical, he could be very good. But that would be my worry. The physical part in the Championship is different to the Premier League.
All he's got to do is bulk up over the summer, grow a foot. A foot in height, not another foot, which would be handy, of course.
That'd be great. Like the goalkeeper last night for Mexico, he's supposed to have 6 fingers.
Is not as good as David Marshall. Oh, that's another thing, Marshall.
Indeed, but just come on to people asking. I mean, people really asking, who do you think will leave the club?
I think Marshall will go.
Marshall, it's all after the World Cup, the big players.
I think Marshall will go.
We're going to do a week here where it's going to be bang, 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 like Colker, Medell. There's going to be like doom, 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 doom.
I think Marshall will go. I think Colker will go. I think Medell will go. I think Noon will go.
I think Noon will go.
I think Much will go. I think Campbell will go.
All to Premier League?
Not necessarily. I think they'll all leave though. I think they'll all go because football is like a conveyor belt. Every 2, 3, 4 years, the squad has to change. They regenerate new players. Like you've seen how many players we've brought in already? 6, 7?
5.
Okay. Well, there's only 11 positions. You don't bring them in and not play them. You know what I mean? Okay, 4 of them are strikers, so straight away, you've got to say, if you've brought in 4 strikers, you've brought in 4 strikers, we already got 4, plus we had out on loan, Maynard and Mason. You got almost 9 strikers, 10 strikers in your squad. Half of them are going to have to go.
Yeah.
Because it's quite simple.
Maynard's
You're not going to be able to keep 9 strikers happy. You're not going to be able to keep 5 strikers happy. 4 at the push. But the other 4 or 5, you've got to go past this new. You know, it's your career you're talking about. So I think there'll be a mass exodus. I agree with Tux. I think, you know, between now and the transfer window closing, I expect Cardiff to get rid of at least 10 players. At least.
Well, we'll find out over the coming
months. I think Solskjaer as well wants that. You know what I mean? He wants to stamp his.
Well, you've got to chisel it around because you've got to think yourself. You've got the 21s as well. You know, there's a whole squad of 21 players coming through as well.
What about the defence then? Are we happy with what's there? Is it because that was the key problem last season? Really, I know there were many, but in terms of on the pitch, the defence post Mackay, if you like, was awful, wasn't it? But
I'm happy
are the bodies good enough?
I'm happy with Calla. I think at centre half.
Calla, Turner. Here's a suggested
Turner
defence.
Hudson comes back into play.
Kevin McNaughton, Ben Turner, Juan Calla, Fabio is one suggestion of a back.
Mr. Brayford, can I suggest?
John Brayford.
John Brayford back, quote unquote, best full back in the Championship, already at the club, had a good loan, loan spell at Sheffield United, got to the FA Cup semi-final.
Yeah.
Coming back, got 3 years left on his deal.
Yeah, why would you get rid of him?
Why aren't we going to use him? For goodness sake, he's got to be given a chance, surely. He's up against McNaughton for that right back berth. Okay, Fabio can play as well, but McNaughton, I mean, we love McNaughton, but surely this is, I wrote a piece on it a couple of weeks ago, isn't this ready-made for someone like Brayford to finally...
Well, the beauty of our squad is you can pick players out of there who are probably arguably best players in the Championship, and you should be able to put together. You got Taylor, you got young lad Declan John, and you've got
Taylor's
Fabio.
Gone.
Taylor's gone.
Taylor's gone.
Yeah, my man. Yeah.
Your best mate.
So we've only got Fabio who can play left back, and young Declan John. So I would say we probably need another left back, an out and out, what I would call out and out left back. I think young Deck, like I've said many times, great talent, but needs work on defensively. And same with Fabio.
Fabio. Okay, my defence. Fabio. When you say it, you get nervous. Even talking about it, you think Fabio, Calla, Turner, and Brayford. Sounds like one of the best. Captain. Crikey, I hadn't thought about captain. Who was captain last? Oh, Colker, of course.
He's a very interesting.
Forgot who's going to be captain.
Question: who should be Cardiff City captain?
Oh, bring Hudson back in then, is it?
Wait, what about Hudson?
Well, exactly. I mean, I don't see any.
He was great in the Championship.
Well, he was brilliant. But he was Player of the season they went up.
The famous Blakey U-turn. Remember that? Oh, it was terrible.
I've seen some U-turns around here, but that was one of his worst.
That was my David Cameron day.
I couldn't believe on the back of the Echo, sack Hudson. I brought a tear to my eye, even though I wrote it.
I was going to say.
Well, I said a tear of pride. Obviously, it brought to my eye. No,
that's what I'm saying. Our squad is massive.
Although he could be playing the three of them there. You never know.
We could play a back three.
Like Tottenham.
Yeah, it could play a back three.
Could play a back three then.
Who should be Cardiff City captain? Nathan Blake.
If Marshall stays, I'd have him. I very much doubt he will. If Marshall goes, I don't see why you wouldn't go back to Hudson. I can't see Colker staying. If Colker stays, then obviously you don't change the captaincy. Do you know what I mean? He's a young lad.
Colker's going to go.
I think Colker's going to go. I mean,
somebody in his camp is doing a hell of a lot of touting. I mean, I'm failing to name a Premier League side he hasn't been linked with. Do you know what I mean? I was Everton yesterday.
So for me, I would go back to Hudson because of his age, experience, and what have you. I just think, you're in the Championship, and why not? I don't think there's someone better I could suggest.
So are you suggesting then that Hudson is, the choice at centre half or whatever?
Well, yeah, I would go, if you've won Player of the Year in the Championship, I don't understand why you wouldn't revert back to that. Okay, you haven't played for a year in the Premier League properly, but you've proved yourself to be more than capable of being one of the top centre halves in the Championship.
Calla were preferred by Solskjaer. I knew Hudson had a lot of injuries, but generally they were preferred.
I think he just brings a better calming influence. I think Calla's can be a bit fluffy handle, that, Spanish.
Rah!
They've got that.
The Spanish. Rah!
Yeah, they've got that intensity, haven't they? They've got that.
Discount Ben Turner at your peril, though, because how many times has Ben Turner been written off?
I don't
and
discount.
Come back in and everyone's gone, my goodness.
No one's discounting Ben Turner. What he's saying is you've got basically 4 centre halves and 2 positions, or 3 positions at the push. Something's got to give.
Well, the one thing Calla's got in his favour is that Solskjaer brought him in.
But
that's a big plus. That's a big tick in his...
Again, don't take for granted that because he was decent in the Premiership, he's going to walk the Championship.
No, I know what you mean.
Because there are a lot of players who actually step down and can handle that Championship.
Right.
It sounds crazy.
No, I know what you mean.
I've played with Premier League players who, when we went into the Championship, were no use. They were, they were no use. They couldn't handle that physicality, that week in, week out. Saturday, Tuesday for long periods of the season. They just couldn't handle it. I won't name names.
The big question mark is got to be Fabio there. I don't know. What he's almost ready-made for you, someone who can't make the step down, although he couldn't make the step up. I don't want to talk about Fabio.
Interesting. Glasgow Bluebirds saying we need a complete overhaul at the back. Sorry, but they're all pap. He says.
Well, who does he suggest? That's fair enough. Who do we suggest? Let's get rid of them all. Okay. What's his name?
Glasgow Bluebird.
Well, Glasgow
Bluebird John suggests Grant Hanley from Blackburn as a quality defender. Another one, I would not be surprised if Colker stays because he is lower Premier League class. Hudson is done. We need fresh blood. Carl pointing out that Matt Connolly is still with us, is he? And
and he played well in the Championship. He was brilliant. He was even decent in the Premiership.
He was the goal machine.
I felt quite sorry for him, and he's a good centre half. See, that's what I'm saying. Our squad is ridiculous.
An embarrassment of riches.
Really and truly.
Hang on, I'm looking at this.
Had you two done the research?
I'm looking at this list now.
Had you two done the research, we should have the squad we've got.
Had we done our research? You suggesting we don't do any research ahead of this?
I'm suggesting you don't.
We can't even start on time, let alone do research. It's a shambles, to be honest.
Yeah, but
it's going to be thrilling.
You think of the squad we got. You think it's our Solskjaer with the players he's brought in already, both January and now. You pick a 22, 25 man squad out of what we got. You shouldn't really fail.
No excuses.
Folks, you heard it.
You shouldn't fail. You shouldn't. You know, you're not talking about, you know, don't forget you can go up in 1, 2 or 3 spots, mind. So you're asking with the, you know, you not arguably, clearly got the best squad of players. Yes, you got to get rid of some, but you don't get rid of the ones who are your better players. You know, now it's down to, right, your planning, your ideas, your selection of players, making sure you got it right, taking on board other people's opinions, getting your squad collectively right, getting rid of what you don't need, and then boom, you can win the championship, you can come second, or you can go up through the playoffs.
I don't want to sound bad, but for me there's still one weak link there, and that's Solskjaer himself.
What happens if Marshall goes? That is my worry.
Really? I'm not that worried. You know, we don't know. We got the
Keepers?
Luke Simon Moore, is it? And
You know him well then. You got that geezer from down in India.
Roger Moore's brother, you know, the saint. You're showing my age there, man. I'll explain to Doel.
It's pretty hard, I don't know what you're talking about.
Yeah, I know. You always
Simon Templar.
Marshall's played so many games, you don't really know, but whenever Lewis has played, he certainly looked solid, isn't he? Solid enough.
You know, I don't see Marshall going. I want him to stay, but you know, if they could get like Arsenal chip in 10 million, then
I hope he goes. I don't hope he goes for Cardiff's sake. I hope he goes for his sake. I said that to you, Tux.
You did, yeah.
I really do, because I think he deserves to be playing at the top, and I think that will improve his international as well. I thought it was, you know, it was one of the best. He was the highlight for me last season. You know, watching him pull off saves left, right, and centre every game or most games. It then became, you know, he was the positive shining light. And for me, I hope just for that, what he gives to the fans. I hope he gets a move, and I hope he goes. I like this. I like to look at him, watch him on TV on a Sunday, watching the Premier League, and think, yeah, you know.
You can watch him warming the bench at Arsenal.
No, I don't want him to warm the bench.
I don't think that goalkeeper is the hardest position to fill.
No. Okay.
I think someone like Lewis could step up.
Until you watch that game with Russia last night and you think to yourself, maybe it's a bit more important than what you think it is.
No, I'm not saying it's not important. I agree it's important. I'm just saying I don't think it's not the toughest position to fill with somebody. Someone like Lewis could surprise us all and step up and.
Yeah, it could. But what I'm saying is, you know, when you're the goalkeeper, you're the last line defence. Yeah. And you see everything. So I think people can overlook the importance because he should be able to, has got to command the 4 people in front of him. You understand me? If you're a left back, you command the winger in front of you. If you're a centre back, you command the 2 centre midfields in front of you, and same with the right back. If you're a midfielder, it's just one of the strikers or the winger beside you control. If you're the keeper, you're controlling 4 players. You've never looked at it like that, I know. But you're controlling 4 players.
Hey, don't tell me what I've never looked at, man.
It's ultra important that the goalkeeper. The goalkeeper.
Well, the back four weren't that brilliant with Marshall there last season.
We didn't have a back four. We had a back four.
I was on my back four. No, but the back four, they weren't that brilliant with Marshall there marshalling them, were they? You know, let's not build up his influence on them too much.
Well, you can't say that because you're up against different opposition, and the opposition you're up against, our back four just couldn't compete with. It wasn't a case where the keeper was getting people into wrong positions or wasn't coming for crosses or wasn't making great saves. The keeper had done his job and then some. The problem was we just weren't up to it. Player for player.
So the outcome is we want Marshall to stay.
I'd love him to stay, but I'd
won't
love
be
to
crying
see
our eyes out if he.
No,
if he does go.
I'd shake his hand and tell him, look, all the very best if he does go.
Okay, good stuff. But we're pretty much there. Let's finish with a couple of ridiculous predictions as we always
well, the Blackburn game.
Not the Blackburn game. 2 predictions. Where will Cardiff City finish? next season, and we'll come back to this much later on in the season. See how
we're not going to. It's not. No one's
and
recording.
Who will win the World Cup as well? Just to be topical.
Who will win the World Cup?
Well, I've always gone for Argentina in the World Cup, and I've not seen anything quite yet.
I'm going to go for Brazil.
Right, they're going to have to pick up.
Surprise, surprise.
Germany look ruthless and efficient.
Yeah, I'm hoping the heat will take its toll on the Germans.
Yeah. Well, you look anti-German or something, or what?
No, I just want to see Brazil win it in their own state.
I think Argentina. I think Messi. You saw that goal. That's just the tip of the iceberg. What's to come?
I think France will be the outsiders. France and Holland. France, Holland, Germany, Spain, Argentina.
Okay,
England.
there we go.
Algeria, Belgium.
Cardiff City then.
Given
all the things.
Top, but not necessarily finishing under Mr. Solskjaer's control. If you see what I mean.
Okay.
Maybe somebody else.
Okay.
Leading them to the top.
I like that. I like that. Well, I don't like it, but I like it.
So that's going to be played back now, isn't it? All the way.
Top.
Top. That's going to be the opening thing. Like when we're 19th. Top. Hey, I've made mistakes. You know me. I've made the odd mistake down the years. Yeah. I'm not too big to admit.
I think we'll finish. I hope we're in the top 6. I think we'll be around 8th. I think that's where we'll finish.
Weren't you just saying we got like the
I
best
think we'll
squad?
finish. Doesn't mean saying the best team. There's a difference.
You just said we'll walk it with all those strikers.
Yeah.
I didn't say we'll walk it. You're mad.
Courage of
I said we would walk it, or we should walk it. There's a big difference. There's one word in there, but there's a big difference.
I remember hearing it as wood, and that's what's going on the back of the Echo tomorrow.
Okay, but it's recorded on should.
I've got to get going. I've got to write my Cardiff City legend that says we'll walk the championship.
I don't think, I wouldn't be stupid enough to say that we'd walk the championship, because I just don't think we would. So if that came out of my mouth earlier, I think you need to rewind this. I think you'll probably find you're putting words into my mouth again, JD.
Again.
But I don't
if somebody watches this later, email one of us and tell us what he said.
Tuck said it last year. He wrote, only bad it goes. And then I said, watch it back. And he's like, all right. Yeah, I thought you said.
I'm not writing any more stories.
I think we'll finish around about 8th. I hope we can push into the playoff positions, but I think it's going to be one of those seasons where, we just need that one game and it doesn't quite happen. It's going to be one of them.
Who'd you fancy then? Saying that, I mean, to be the top 2 then, if you're saying Cardiff,
Catherine Jenkins. Oh, you mean who do I fancy?
Let's not go there. Let's not go there. Poor old Catherine Jenkins.
Yeah. She's a lovely girl.
She's nice.
Yeah, she's beautiful. But I would say, who do I fancy?
Yeah.
I'll go with, I think Derby will be thereabouts. And I think, I don't fancy Fulham, but I do fancy Norwich, because it's a really difficult place to go, and they usually get it right in their balance and that, and they're a pretty good club. They've had they fall from grace, but they usually get it right. I think them. Sheffield Wednesday done all right last year. Sooner or later they've got to come back. I don't know. It's looking at teams, there's so many of them, and there's always a surprise package.
You never really know, yeah.
Bournemouth will come out and end up, because they could have gone to the playoffs last season. No one would have tipped that. Brentford might come and go on a run. It's that's the thing about the Championship.
Anyone can beat anyone.
It's so demanding. It's so demanding over such a long period of games. You have a bad run at the wrong time, and like Leicester found a couple of seasons for the last couple of seasons. Bad run at the wrong time, it all goes pear-shaped. But I think we'll finish either just inside the playoffs or just outside. That's my prediction. Between 6 and 8.
Between 1st and 27th. at some point.
1st and 19th.
Somewhere throughout the table.
No, I don't think we'd be mid-table. I think we'd be higher. I don't know if we'll make the playoffs. I'm hoping we do. I really do.
And Solskjaer? Do the season?
Yes, a simple yes or no. Will he still be there at the end of the season?
Yes.
And you're
me? No.
Okay, there we go. We'll leave it there, I think.
Dun, dun, dun. You got a one-word
We've
answer.
said so many things now that can be used against us in later boot rooms that we're going
Top.
to
Top.
top. The 12-inch remix, super remixes. Tucker's Folly.
It's good to be back, eh? It's good to be back. It's good to be back. Yeah, Boot Room's back.
It's like we've never been
Come
away.
on, City.
Oh.
Top.
It's like we never went away.
Yeah.
Dolly's got his
We
head
gotta
in his
have
hand.
we gotta have
The
fun
season
and laugh.
hasn't
We gotta laugh a joke now because you know during the season, you know what
crying,
we're like the old roller coaster. And we won a game against Southampton. We can do it. We can really do it.
Good nights on Friday night football.
We lost
after
again.
Blackburn 5, Cardiff City 0. A bad start. Solskjaer out. Shouting in the back. Oh, at least the football's coming back. Eh? I don't mean this World Cup rubbish where everybody's good.
Not long
and
at all.
having a good
August
time.
the 8th, so that'll soon.
August the 9th,
round.
isn't it?
No,
August the 8th for the Bluebirds,
you
isn't it?
You did say August the 9th earlier on. But,
Did we? August the 8th. Don't
As
be.
soon as the World Cup's over, boom, we're into it.
Indeed.
Oh,
All right,
great.
chaps. Good stuff. Enjoyed
Cheers.
that.
Cheers,
Very
John.
good. Thank you for joining us. Thanks for all your comments and your questions. As always, all the fixtures on Wales Online as we speak, so have a good look at them and pick up the ones that you think will be key.
Can I just say before we go, can the fans write in and say whether they like the new advert at the beginning?
Oh, the new advert. We forgot to mention that. Yeah,
What's that? Our opening title?
The new opening title.
Oh, Alex. Yeah. Brilliant. I think brilliant, John.
I think it's excellent.
Yeah.
He's superb, that guy. He's the guy who does
even made you look half
You made me
decent.
look, you look all right as well.
I thought that looked a bit chubby, personally.
Who, you?
Yeah.
Oh, God.
It's because when he designed it, he took it from a card and the card weighed about a stone.
No, they're brilliant, the opening titles. Have a look at them again. I think they're great. Let us know.
Okay, good stuff. Thanks, Paul. We will see you in the new season. Take care.